What's up, guys? So today we got Olimar matchup chart. You know, this absolutely unplayable, useless piece of trash that I've kind of stopped playing throughout this year, at least as much as I used to. Because I think as most characters are advancing into like late game ultimate, I feel like Olimar's metagame hasn't really advanced in the past year. And it feels like it's just as a character, it's hard to find ways to improve with him enough to keep up with other characters and players. So this chart's going to represent that probably. With that said, a general overview on his matchups. A lot of his matchups come down to how effective is Pikmin Toss, how effective can he either wall someone out or like get in their face and mess them up there, and finally, like, how good is he at killing the opponent and surviving, because he does insane damage. And Pikmin Toss is a crazy good tool, and he has good hitboxes, but like some characters he can't land those killing moves on. Some characters have too good of disadvantage states. Other characters are just too heavy. And then, of course, he's a very lightweight, fragile, and slow character. So he gets blown up in disadvantage, very aggressively so. And, yeah, a lot of his matchups are kind of volatile by nature as a result. He's very much a snowball character. And let's just get into the chart. I'm going to try to run through every character pretty quickly because there's 2,000 characters in this game. And we don't got time for a 3-hour video. So, right off the bat, you can see, like, you know, +2, +1, etc. Easy enough. Banjo. This is a simple one. You throw a Pikmin at Banjo. The Pikmin blocks his projectiles, especially red Pikmin goes through grenades. Sorry, I got a hiccup. And because of that, Banjo's going to take a lot of chip damage. He doesn't get in well. And for the most part, he doesn't have any special tricks. Olimar's kind of a better version of Banjo in a lot of ways in this matchup. Bayo. I used to think this is Olimar's favor. Now I lean towards even-ish, honestly. Because I feel like with Bayo, the Bayo players got a lot better at abusing her mobility to just be like hard to hit. What else? She can use Witch Time against Pikmin Toss, which is a big deal because it has a big radius. So if I get Witch Timed, she gets in for free. Pikmin Toss is my main tool because getting aggressive versus her with like normals is hard. And you know I can bait out Witch Time, right? But like it's a whole mind game, and the fact that my main tool of Pikmin Toss is creating 50-50 as potentially her favor is really scary. Along with the fact that just getting kills on her especially is very hard, but Olimar is not hard to keep in disadvantage for her. Could be winning, but I think it's pretty solidly even, maybe even losing long term. Even as a volatile character, this is a very volatile matchup. Bowser, both these characters will hit each other once and destroy each other in an advantage state. Olimar obviously dies even quicker than Bowser because he's so light, but like Olimar can also edgeguard Bowser down to 2 frames, forward airs. He gets comboed forever. He can't get rid of Pikmin easily. It's actually a very fun matchup that is very much like you can make 3-stock comebacks either way. Olimar just kind of throws Pikmin, forward smashes, and walls at Bowser Jr. Really, Bowser Jr. is just not a great character, and most of his matchups I feel like are losing because he's not a great character. With that said, shoutouts to Cannonball because it kind of punches through Pikmin Toss, and that can be a little bit annoying. Alright, Byleth is easy enough. You throw a Pikmin, Byleth lacks a good way to kill Pikmin. Olimar is also pretty short, so a lot of Byleth's spacing tools don't work well on Olimar. And then when they're up close, Olimar just going to press like his really like Roy-esque buttons and obliterate Byleth. So Byleth does have the spacing tool like annoy Olimar if Olimar misspaces his buttons. Byleth can definitely kill Olimar early, but he's going to be struggling to get those hits in. Alright, Falcon's combos kind of get messed up by Whistle a lot, and Pikmin Latch. Pikmin on Falcon is going to make his attacks laggy, of course, ruining his combos. So now having to get rid of Pikmin Toss, and the fact that he has to get in on a character that's really good at walling, it's just rough for him. In general, Falcon's not a great character, so yeah. Alright. Big Sword Go Burr with Chrom. Like, he plays at a similar range to Olimar, but with much better attacks and much better mobility, of course. Also, his main weakness is edge guarding, but Olimar isn't really able to edge guard Chrom. You can't get like super high up to spike those uppies easily. He can't get tested with anything easily. So yeah, not being able to use Chrom's main weakness is rough. Oh, Cloud. So, everything about Chrom, except much harder. Especially because Cloud can just run away, charge limit. And by doing so, he's going to just... Man. He's just going to charge limit and have to fight limit Cloud all the time if he wants to. Getting kills hard, when neutral's hard, punishing anything is hard, it's rough. I also am pretty sure if he hits Pikmin, he gets limit charge off Pikmin. So, like, he might, like, hit Olimar and, like, a Pikmin with a back air and get twice limit charge. Moving on. Corin. Yuno's last sorties are here. Characters that have about as much range as Olimar, but, like, with attacks that kill Pikmin pretty safely are rough, because then Olimar can't abuse his generally good range to keep people out. Pretty solidly losing matchup. Nothing else to say here. Daisy. This is actually a fun matchup. Daisy up close obviously is an insane character, but Olimar keeps them out well. They have tools to kill Pikmin, but because their attacks are kind of low range, they're not safe tools if Olimar is preemptive about it. Daisy can edge guard Olimar, but Olimar has like a lot of upping mobility to escape the edge guards. And it's actually a really fun back and forth matchup that kind of requires both characters to play very like tight spacing. Put Peach here as well. Alright. Pits are just bad characters. It's like exaggeration, but yeah, like the characters always struggle with walling tools. And Olimar, when he's able to wall, is good. So, like, you know, just throw Pikmin, beat the arrows, like kind of contest Pit's range, do a lot more damage than them. That's a big deal. Olimar does so much more damage than the Pits. And you can edge guard their up Bs with down air and down tilt pretty easily. Alright. Pikmin toss, blocks banana. Yeah. So Diddy's main tool, you can throw banana around Pikmin toss, but like at that point, Diddy has to kind of like find openings around Olimar just racking up free damage. Up close, Olimar's buttons are so annoying for Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong is kind of combo food. Like he doesn't have a great answer really anywhere in the matchup. The one thing he has is that when he gets Olimar at the ledge, Olimar race stinks there, and even landing versus Diddy can be pretty difficult. But like for the most part, yeah, Diddy just like can't play his normal game plan. Alright, DK. I wasn't sure about DK. I'm not trying to put many characters in even or winning. You can think of this as like a 0.5, honestly. But basically, DK is like combo food, of course. He's really easy to edge guard down to 2 frames in the fairs, sure. And he has to get in versus Olimar's range. With that said, dash attack. Late hit dash attack, super annoying for Olimar to deal with. In general, DK just being so heavy means he takes a lot of damage, sure. He lives, and then he abuses rage to kill Olimar early. And like Olimar gets back air edge guard for free. He can't land at all versus like up airs. The ledge is rough. So like DK wins neutral once, he blows up Olimar. He just needs to get the right neutral win, which can be hard versus the wall of Pikmin tosses, aerials, smashes, etc. And purples especially. Alright. Dr. Mario. You know, I'll talk about Mario right now, and then go back to Doc. So, Mario's a losing matchup, because Mario's frame data up close is very annoying, along with the fact that Mario's mobility lets him kind of just get in. He has a lot of lingering attacks, especially, that punch through Pikmin safely, and can still hit Olimar. Like, you can't challenge him with smashes. It's, like, hard to, like, hit him with, like, aerials as long as he's being mobile. He can also use Cape to reflect Pikmin. And then, of course, he doesn't have a hard time comboing Olimar, even with Whistle. He doesn't have a hard time killing Olimar. And it's really hard to just, like, stop Mario from at some point running in and doing a lot of damage. And, like, when you're a character like Olimar relies on combos and fights another combo-based character, if you can't keep them out, you lose. And that's the case here. And then Doc is pretty similar. Of course, he's slower, and he's just a worse character, so that's why Doc is even where Mario's losing. And Doc's cape does not reflect Pikmin. But in exchange, Doc is going to mess up Olimar if he gets those hits in. Kills him really easily. And, like, whereas Mario can kind of afford to take trades, you can't versus Doc. Alright, Duck Hunt. We win. Duck Hunt throws projectiles. We out-projectile him. Purple is especially very good because they can deal with Gunman, Can, and the Side B. And then, of course, Duck Hunt has to fight up close. Olimar is going to win those up-close fights. So, pretty simple matchup. Falco. He has to approach. I will say, down B is annoying because it reflects Pikmin. But it's laggy enough we can, like, run up, shield it, if we expect that, and get, like, a forward arrow shield, or even a grab sometimes. And that's a big deal. Sorry, yeah, like, hiccups is annoying. Also, late, Pikmin are going to really mess up Falco's combo game if there's any latch to him at all. They can also block, like, the laser from up throw. And Falco's really easy to edge guard, so Olimar is able to get kills pretty consistently on Falco at, like, reasonable percents. So, yeah, Falco, he can jump around Olimar and kind of time him out by just, like, full hopping around. But it's not going to win the game. But it means if he has a lead, he can hold it pretty easily. Alright, Fox. Fox just runs at Olimar and Olimar dies. Like, that's it. You can edge guard him, sure. You can like contest his aerials with yours. You can like do like some big like combos on him. Like you can do like down throw forward smash, I think, on him, which is very nice. But Fox just runs circles on Olimar, and if Fox gets Olimar in the air, it's sort of Olimar to find a place to land or even get time to get Pikmin back. So, and really, you don't get time to throw a Pikmin either, because Fox can just run you down super easily. Alright, it's Ganondorf. I will actually say, this matchup's not free for Olimar. He doesn't edge guard well, and Ganondorf has enough range to kind of contest Olimar. He also doesn't care about the Pikmin toss damage, because he's super heavy. He mostly cares about white Pikmin damage and purple Pikmin to knock him back. With that said, he's still Ganondorf. He's slow, stubby, like, he's just not a good character. But Olimar wins this matchup because Ganon's not a good character, in my opinion. Greninja. This matchup's interesting. Greninja runs around Olimar a lot, sure, but his combos don't work well on Olimar. Whistle's going to deal with that. So Greninja, like, even on hitting Olimar's play his guessing game. And then Olimar has really good punishes out of parry, and Greninja's a character that's already vulnerable to parries. So it's a lot of, like, throw Pikmin, wait for Greninja to have to, like, space an attack, parry that, or even just block with the Pikmin leg, extending the end leg of the move, punish, and, like, just hold center stage for Olimar. And it really matters, like, you know, is Greninja going to use a counter at the right time to punish the Pikmin toss? Is Greninja going to get the edge guards? The kill confirms. And it's a pretty fun cat and mouse game. Alright. Hero gets bounce. Bounce blocks Pikmin toss and smashes. Like, not blocks, reflects. For free. While he's still spacing with a sword. And using zoning tools. Some Olimars may think it's only -1. I say I don't care enough. Don't play this matchup. Alright. Ice is interesting. Pikmin toss, especially purples, are super annoying for ice climbers. But they also have like the frame data and range to hit Pikmin pretty safely. And like then when they hit Olimar, he just dies, right? Olimar is actually so slow. He can't run away from Ices that well. And Ices only stinks against characters that can like zone them out and run away. Olimar having to fight at their range, not being able to run away from them. And his main game plan not being particularly effective. It's a rough one. I don't want to say it's losing. Because we do have good buttons to contest him. Purples are that annoying. We can edge guard them with like down to 2 frames. A lot of characters with bad recoveries get 2 framed. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Okay, I'm going to skip this one. I'll go world map. Ike. Honestly, Ike's just a bad character. That's all it is. And you can also block his side with Pikmin toss, which is really annoying for him recovering. But like he's just not a good character. He gets walled out, he gets comboed. He like doesn't have the best advantage state. Yeah. Alright, Incineroar. This would be fine if it wasn't for the fact that Incineroar can very easily counter the Pikmin toss to stack up his revenge stacks, right? Especially a red Pikmin. He can like infinitely stack on that. And you can kind of bait it out with like a whistle and go for a grab. But there's not even that much lag on his counter. Up close, his like frame data, just his jam buttons are insane. He's going to live very long, kill very early, and Olimar just struggling to get kills. In general, is going to be really bad against a character like Incineroar, who thrives off of rage and those single hits. Inkling. Inkling just doesn't have enough up-close buttons to, like, oppress Olimar when she gets in. Like, she can run around, she can be annoying, but she can't, like, pressure us with aerials all day. She can't kill Pikmin well. Even her approach angles aren't super amazing. And yeah, she's just not a particularly great character. You know, there's a lot of characters here aren't great characters. And so she kind of gets, like, just beaten by the fact that Olimar is a high damage walling character who can also box up close. Isabelle. Not a great character. I will say, she can pocket the Pikmin toss using his Olimar. That's annoying. But in exchange, Olimar can, like, throw a Pikmin and just, like, start, like, forward airing her, getting in her face, jabbing, and basically having really good buttons up close lets Olimar just run up to her and, like, mash stuff. And it's hard for her to, like, keep him out. And, you know, since talking about Isabelle, talking about Villager here as well, because it's kind of the same deal. I think Isabelle's a bit better, because I think Isabelle can use, like, Fishing Rod as, like, a bait to Olimar getting super aggressive, and the down B can control space, where a Villager side B kind of doesn't do much. His down B isn't going to do that much. Isabelle's just a better character in general, but I don't think there's a huge discrepancy in the overall matchup. Alright, Joker. Even or losing, it's like, Pikmin toss is annoying because it's just going to do a lot of free damage on Joker. He can counter it, we can bait that and grab him. And that can be a big deal because he's super combo food. When he has Arsene, you can easily edgeguard him, which is a big deal. So like Joker with Arsene, it's scary because he's so fast and hitting him is so hard. But he also has trouble getting in. In exchange, however, he can just run away. Like, you can't hit Joker if he doesn't want to get hit. So he's going to get like 2 Arsenes of stock if he uses it right. And honestly, just the fact that he consistently will live for like at minimum 1 and honestly a lot of times 2 Arsenes while being hard to hit, while having an insanely good advantage state, which exploits Olimar's poor disadvantage state, makes it rough. It really, I could see it being even, but I lean more towards losing, mostly because we're dealing with big, scary blue man too often. Alright, Puff. No, I'm sorry, Puff players. Y'all got kind of screwed with this one. Big aerials, yeah, are really like lagless Go Burr versus very aerial-based character. Oh, God. This is entirely, Olimar should be good in this matchup, actually. He should be. But Kazuya is so overtuned that, like, Olimar is able to wall him out, get free pigment pressure, it doesn't matter. Also, if Kazuya reflects a purple pigment toss, that can literally kill Olimar at, like, 60. It's super dumb. But, yeah, Kazuya just is too strong of a character. And Olimar is a character that fights. Like, he runs away in zones, but he doesn't, like, throw a pigment toss with the intent of, I'm winning through pigment toss damage. He does it as, like, hey, I'm going to force you to deal with this and get in while I deal with pigment toss. I'm going to extend my combos because of the pigment toss, causing more, like, hit stun, which is a weird mechanic. But yeah, or, like, I'm going to punish yourself because of pigment toss. I'm going to rack up free damage because I'm hitting you while pigment is hitting you. Like, the point is he's fighting you a lot, and Kazuya wins versus characters that fight a lot. So, that's rough. I will say you can whistle some of his combos sometimes, and that can be rough where the Kazuya has to be perfect. But if the Kazuya is like perfect on his combos, yeah, Olimar's getting 0 death. And that's it. And also, Olimar loves using like spaced aerials, and Electric's just gonna punch through them. And let's just do all the FGC characters now. So Ken, where is Terry, and Ryu. Because all kind of the same way, but even though they're all, you know, unique characters, they all are characters that are really good in matchups where they get to fight the opponent. And Olimar is a character that has to fight with his spacing tools, right? So he's going to kind of get outmatched at like those close mid-range situations in terms of combos, damage output, and especially kill power. It can be hard, especially to juggle Ryu and Ken because of focus. It can be hard to edge guard any of them. And it's hard to escape the pressure of any of them once they're in. Like, they have too many like kind of ways to keep you in their face. And they also have a lot of lingering attacks that kill Pikmin and are very hard to punish. So yeah, they're all difficult in their own ways, but they're all losing matchups in my opinion. Alright, King Dedede. Outside of the fact that his ledge trapping with Gordo is insane, Dedede is not a good character. You can also like throw Pikmin to block the Gordo ledge trapping, so Dedede's main win condition doesn't work. But he's heavy and has disjoint buttons, and he's hard to kill because he has so many jumps. So his disadvantage state is like annoying for Olimar. Olimar wins, just throw a Pikmin, yada yada. But it's pretty scary, especially when Dedede is at like 150, which is going to happen a lot. Alright. I don't like the K-Roll matchup personally, but I think that's just skill diff. I think I'm just not good versus this type of character. The thing about Oh, I want to put him in like winning though. The thing is like Crown is annoying, Neutral B is annoying. We can't like out camp with Pikmin toss. We can let him throw projectiles and just kind of throw Pikmin after the projectiles, run in and like blow him up close. Like K-Roll's buttons are just all laggy and he's such a big comboable target. And Olimar can also like kind of edge guard him with like back airs and forward airs if he spaces it right. So it's rough. K-Roll just has the fact that he's heavyweight going for him. And he can like dash tech armor through a lot of Olimar's stuff if he wants to call it out. But it is a pretty committal call out. I think I watched Myron destroy Kirby Kid at a tournament like 2 years ago, and I was like, okay, I see why Olimar wins it. You just have to be playing confident with him and not dropping your combos. Kirby, bad character. Bad character. His combos don't work well on Olimar because of Whistle. He gets walled out. If he does absorb Olimar with the Neutral B, having Pikmin pluck or slash toss is so insane in the matchup. But like, you have to not let Kirby get that and you'll win pretty easily. Alright. Link. Neutral Air. That's it. Like, Neutral Air has been, since, like, Ultimate's release, such a good tool against Olimar. Because it's just a lingering, pretty big hitbox. And Olimar is not fast enough to, like, get in Link's face and, like, overwhelm him before he can use Neutral Air. nor is Olimar fast enough to run away from Link just spamming neutral air. Combine that with Link's amazing stage control with bombs and arrows, boomerangs. And like, yeah, Olimar can throw a Pikmin, but it's like, the Pikmin are going to die to all these projectiles. Link is also going to space with big aerials. And finally, like, Link is just going to out-trade Olimar so much, because he has such, like, good kill power. And yeah, Olimar really has to constantly be playing around, like, all the projectiles and the neutral air. And basically has to play, like, has to let Link do his thing and respond to it, and that's not good. Alright. Little Mac is ground character. Olimar Pikmin Toss smashes, especially purple Pikmin Toss, is ground control. I will say Olimar can't edge guard Mac well, but, like, honestly, Mac just doesn't have a good way to get in. I mean, it's Little Mac. Alright, Lucario. This one is interesting. Like, Olimar kind of wins in terms of spacing, camping, frame data, combos, everything versus Lucario. But, of course, Aura is a thing. And I keep saying this. Olimar has trouble killing. He has good damage output. He has powerful kill moves. But, like, hitting, like, those, like, you know, back airs at kill percents is not easy versus good players. Someone sees a purple, they know what to avoid. They see a blue, they know what to avoid. Olimar's edge guarding is okay in some matchups, not great in others. So Lucario is gonna tend to take a lot of damage, but live to like 150 and then just blow up Olimar once. And I think especially when he has big Aura Sphere, that's hard for Olimar to play around, because like we can throw a Pikmin versus it. What if Lucario just jumps and back airs us when we toss a Pikmin? What if we try preempting that? We jump and then we're in the air versus Aura Sphere. So it's really hard. I think it's a losing matchup, but it could be even. Alright. Throw a Pikmin. We just throw a Pikmin, and LOL, Lucas gets walled out. Lucina. This one, I used to think was even, but Lucina has slightly more range than Olimar on a lot of her attacks, and her ability to just straight up juggle and edge guard Olimar is really good. And like, Olimar can't do the same versus her. He can't keep her in disadvantage because she has a bit more range to swing with. And even just landing like Pikmin latches on her is not easy. So yeah, it might be even because it doesn't feel particularly bad. Like, it doesn't feel winning, that's for sure. So I'll say it's like even or losing, because I will say we have better damage output than her, and the fact that like she's just playing at a consistent sword range means she is open to like parries and like us outspacing her. But yeah, I think the advantage state's a bit too good for her. All right, Luigi combos don't work super on Olimar because of whistle, and that's a big deal unless he like reads the whistle. And then, of course, purple Pikmin is hard for him to deal with. Pikmin Toss in general will block his side B recoveries. And then, like, we can, like, kind of deal with his fireballs with the red Pikmin Toss. We don't care too much about, like, his Zair. And, like, we just don't care much about, like, his, like, space control tools because we have better ones. And his combo game isn't super good on us. With that said, he still does insane damage. He still kills Pikmin very easily with, like, neutral air. And we still have to, like, bait out his attacks to get punishes. And there's a lot of mind games. It's just, we should generally be winning this. Alright, Martha's generally worst version of Lucina, so I'll just put him here. Alright, Mega Man is another character that's like very projectile heavy, but his projectiles kind of just get contested by Olimar's projectiles. And for a character like Mega Man, whose main thing is projectiles with a side of like swordy spacing tools, that's not going to work for Olimar, who's also like projectiles and swordy spacing tools, both insane damage. Also, another character with down to 2 frames really helped for us up B. Ooh, Meta Knight. So, Meta Knight is so easy to combo with Olimar. Like, he takes, like, combos like he's a heavyweight character, but he's super light. And Whistle breaks so many of his combos. Like, Meta Knight's combos are not reliable on Olimar. And you play Meta Knight for, like, his ladder combos, right? So, not having that as a consistent option makes this matchup so hard, because otherwise he's just a character with, like, a very bursty subpar neutral trying to get in versus a character that's great at walling. He also doesn't kill Pikmin particularly safely. Alright. I will say this. I don't like the Mewtwo matchup personally, because I'm more of a defensive Olimar. And Side B is a really obnoxious reflector. And Mewtwo's really hard to hit because he's so fast, right? With that said, he's such a big character and he gets overwhelmed. Like, if Olimar just gets more aggressive, we can get in his face, mash buttons, outspace him, outdamage him, out-kill power him, and, like, if we're getting aggressive, his side B is, like, a read that leaves him open to punishes. So, and Mewtwo's kind of a bad character, right? So Olimar wins. He just wins through aggressive play, not defensive play. Alright, Mii Brawler. It's a lot like Fox. You know, Mii Brawler is just so fast, we can't really wall him out. Like, every walling tool, like calling him out with aerials or smashes or whatever, is so committal relative to his ability to say, oh, I see you jumped poorly. Or I see you, like, grabbed or smash attacked. I'm gonna punish you now. But Mii Brawler also has really good kill confirms on floaty characters with, like, I think it's the Thrupper is what it's called. Like, the up is like, pa, 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 pa. And that's just a problem. Like, Olimar dies super early. So, hard matchup. I don't like it. Would not play it. Mii Gunner. You would think Mii Gunner is winning for Olimar. You would. You'd be like, oh, it's just Mii Gunner. That's why I put him here. Because I'm not sure if it's even or winning. And you think, oh, you know, I just throw projectiles out. I block his projectiles. I'm better up close because that's a zoner. And Olimar is like a sortie zoner grappler hybrid. It's pretty cool. Fun character. But anyway, with that said, if Olimar gets put at the ledge versus Mii Gunner, Olimar's already poor ledge game gets magnified by Mii Gunner's amazing ledge trapping. So, like, that alone keeps the matchup in potentially even. With that said, that's kind of Mii Gunner's only big advantage, and I'm not sure if it's big enough to make it even. Alright, Sortie is such a lame matchup. Like, as the player who plays very lame, even I have to say this matchup is super lame, because Mii Sortie is just, like, throwing projectiles, especially NATO, is really annoying for Olimar to deal with. We have to, like, parry it, otherwise we won't get a punish on that. And it kills Pikmin. But in exchange, he can't approach us well, right? So it's kind of a battle of, like, getting small pieces of damage over and over, and reading when the Mii Sword player is going to approach if we don't parry the NATOs, like, kind of close range. With that said, if we can do that, it could be Olimar favorite, but I don't think that's a super reliable strategy. And Sortie still has other zoning tools and a sword still. Alright, Min Min. This is just one of those matchups where it's like, Min Min kind of runs away with her giant hitboxes and forces Olimar to approach because he's getting constantly harassed. And matchups where Olimar, like, has to approach because he's getting constantly harassed by zoning tools are just bad matchups for him. That's the only way to say it. And the fact that Min Min, you know, heavyweight, Olimar can't really edgeguard tether characters super well, but she can edgeguard him. She's just a better character with bigger buttons. It's rough for Olimar. I will say Pikmin can block arms except Ram Ram, but the fact that Ram Ram goes through the Pikmin toss easily enough. Yeah. Alright, Game Watch. This is actually a very fun matchup. Game Watch has Bucket as an anti-Pikmin toss tool. We can just run up and hit him. He's so fragile that even Olimar's inability to get kills sometimes doesn't really come into play here because Game Watch dies like 1/10 of purple up air, like full up height. It's insane. Or like purple back air kills at 80 in the corner. So yeah. And then of course, like, we don't care about bomb forward air. We can contest that. We do care about, however, his out shield game being so good. Because normally Olimar's aerials are so good on block that we can just kind of like space pretty easily and like pressure people. But Game Watch negates that. So we have to play really careful around a shield, like space super out the aerials to evade up a shield. Backer is also annoying. We can't deal with neutral air approaches super well without calling it out, which is like the risk reward on stopping his neutral air, risking neutral air is not our favor. And then getting out of any disadvantage versus Game Watch is rough. So with that said, we do wall him out. He is gonna really, really feel the Pikmin latch damage. And he is gonna have to deal with the fact that we are just contesting with aerials. So it's a pretty even matchup. Like, I could actually see it being winning or losing long term. That's how I know it's even. Alright. You know it's not even though? Yeah. Ness is just... He is kind of Lucas, which I don't really go into too much depth about. But basically, we can just block PK Fire with Pikmin Toss. And then, like, we can outrange his aerials with ours pretty easily. So, he doesn't have a particularly good advantage. Like, we can whistle to break his combos. He's easy enough to edge guard. He can edge guard us with down smash and up smash 2 frames by just holding it. And, like, if he does get us in the air, it's rough. But, like, I think especially because Olimar is a really big down air to punch through like, massive up air juggles. That comes into play a lot in this matchup when Lucas players, or when Ness players, are trying to up air us a lot. And we're like, okay, fast fall down air, punch through the up air, and make them play our mix-up game. So, overall, Ness has to respect our hitbox range too much for this not to be a winning matchup. Alright, Pac-Man. This one's interesting. Olimar definitely has the tools well, Pac-Man. But Pac-Man has, Mario-esque frame data. So it's like you have to be very careful with the spacing, which makes it a fun matchup sometimes. We can throw a purple Pikmin to like go through Hydra and just purple back air to kill it. So we don't care about Hydra much. What we do care about is that a lot of his fruits go through Pikmin Toss. So like we can't just throw Pikmin Toss for free, which means Pac-Man gets the pressure with a lot of projectiles. And it creates an awkward, interesting dynamic, right? Where it's like we're respecting their projectiles, but we're also still like trying to weave in our own. We're trying to get to like sword range, but not super close. We're like in like Pac-Man, Mario frame data range. We do have good damage output and kill power, and Pac-Man kind of doesn't. So we do actually win trades, which is a big deal. But we also can't chase him and like stop from recovering, stop from getting fruits. It's an interesting matchup for sure. It's like, I could see it being winning or even. I kind of lean towards even personally, but I'll put it here. Alright, Paolo. I used to think this was a winning matchup, but honestly, Palutena is just too hard to hit. Like, she's too good of a character, and her advantage state's too good. Like, who cares if she has trouble hitting short characters? Just space back here better. Catch us with neutral air when we jump. Run around Pikmin Toss with your crazy mobility and teleport cancels. Get us in the air, up air us. Get us to the ledge, react to our ledge options. Get us off stage, back air us. Like, I will say, she does have to find openings. She is going to take Pikmin Toss damage. She does have to deal with the fact that when we're below her, like, our up air is so annoying for her to deal with. Our arrows in general are super good at contesting her. And, like, we can actually whistle to escape a lot of her combos, like Nair Bear. So that's pretty annoying. And it's a really annoying even matchup where it's just like we can't hit her, but she can't hit us. We are going to build residual damage over time constantly, but she's going to combo us and hold us in disadvantage state super easily if she gets the opening. So, pretty interesting matchup. That is frustrating for both sides in my opinion. Alright. I know a lot of Olimar players think this matchup's straight up winning. Like, oh, it's Pichu, low. I actually think it's even, but I can see it being winning. Is this? Okay. The thing about Pichu is that he's so fast in the air that he can kind of like jump and get on top of Olimar. So you don't get to just throw Pikmin, but if we commit to calling it out with like an aerial, and we miss time, it will get punished. In exchange, however, he is a lightweight character. He is doing a lot of self damage, and Olimar is walling him out and forcing him to use like T-Jolts to get in. We are going to outrange him. Like, we do have the ability to just kill him for trying to approach. It's just, if he gets an opening, if he gets in, Pichu is actually so good at, like, killing someone off a single touch. And Olimar is not good at stopping that. So we have to be super careful to not make a mistake versus Pichu. And that fear alone is why I don't think it's just an even, winning matchup. In comparison, Pikachu is a much more defensive character. Lots of T-Jolts to get in. Doesn't have as crazy of an advantage state, but it has a pretty consistent one. But I think versus Olimar, just the fact that Pikachu is like playing at a much slower pace, can't jump in that well, has to throw a lot more T-Jolts out. He's going to take a lot of residual damage. He gets walled out pretty easily. A lot of his combos don't work versus Whistle. And yeah, I just think the poor airspeed makes this matchup so much worse for Pikachu than Pichu, even if Pikachu is a much better character overall. Plant's interesting. So the Poison Cloud actually blocks Pikmin Toss and smashes, and that's really annoying. But then, like, our aerials are so good versus Piranha Plant. And, like, if we, like, throw Pikmin at him with his non-Poison Cloud, he doesn't deal with it well. So, it probably is an even matchup. It might be losing because that, like, Cloud is so annoying. Plant's also is really heavy and kind of a small character. So, like, getting those kills can be kind of hard, and then we get exploded by Rage. Also, Neutral B is such a good ledge trap tool, and Olimar's ledge game sucks. So, it's a weird matchup. I haven't got to play it much as well because it's Plant, but I lean towards even or losing. Alright, PT's pretty even. This is a fun matchup too. It's like the general, like, we want Walt Squirtle, but Squirtle, if they get in, kills us. Ivysaur advantage state's insane. And honestly, Ivysaur's walling with Razor Leaf's really annoying. But, like, we can play around that with our more, like, fluid Pikmin Toss walling. And Purple Pikmin especially lets us, like, go through Razor Leaf and pressure Ivysaur. And then Ivysaur's been more ranged than us on his normals. We have better frame data and, like, damage output, right? Ivysaur is better cheese, but, like, we just have better buttons. And then Charizard comes into play, and Charizard's, like, scary, but kind of a bad character, so it's interesting. And overall, it's actually a really dynamic matchup. I think there's a lot of nuance to it. And I think it ends up being a pretty even matchup because overall Olimar should win the neutral pretty hard, but he can't afford to mess up much. Alright, broken character. Do I gotta say much about it? I probably should. So, Mithra is really annoying because she can just kind of do what like Palutena does, where she just runs around waiting for an opening. Except, you know, Mithra's buttons also really insane at everything, and they're just better than Olimar's. You can also use the Foresight to go through Pikmin Latch if you know what you're doing, even just like purple Pikmin Toss. And that's a really annoying thing to deal with Olimar, but just trying to wall her out, and she's like, oh yeah, Foresight in, kill you. And then, of course, we can't get past Pyro's wall. Like, Pyro's absolutely massive hitboxes that are really safe and scary. Olimar has to commit really hard to get past those. And we're just too vulnerable to, like, dying as a result of everything. So that's a rough matchup. Damn, yo, Pikmin games have some banger music. Oh, almost that music. Alright, Belmonts. It's kind of like Mimmin in that, like, we have to approach past this, like, wall of disjoints. Also, Cross goes through Pikmin super easily. It's super obnoxious. Holy Water Lead Trapping destroys us. Same with... And Axe is kind of annoying as well for, like, catching out landings. But yeah, like, the fact that we're just constantly getting harassed. And it's hard for Olimar to approach without throwing Pikmin. But, like, Belmont's harassment is going to kill Pikmin pretty easily. So, we're just kind of put into a situation where, like, we have to kind of run at him. And hope he doesn't read how we're, like, running at him. Because we lose if we try camping him out for sure. And when you're forced to be aggressive as Olimar, it's rough. Man, Ridley. This is kind of the DK matchup where it's very much like we have a better neutral. We can blow up this character with good combos. But killing is hard. If we lose neutral once, we can die for it. Ridley does have big buttons, but also pretty laggy. And that means, like, killing Pikmin isn't easy for the character. But in exchange, we have to, like, respect their ability to just press buttons and wait for our opening, which does really dictate how the neutral flows. It's actually a pretty fun but scary matchup. I'm just not sure if it's even or winning. Alright, Rob. He's just too good of a character. He has great walling tools, especially because we can't block laser with Pikmin Toss. Gyro also blocks Pikmin. We can't deal with neutral air well. His, like, mashing down tilt and stuff up close is so obnoxious. That's hard for us to, like, press buttons up close. And of course he's Rob. He's just such a better character. Better kill power, recovery, like advantage state, you name it. The only reason it's not -2 is because I think we can kind of skill gap all those things with good parries, right Pikmin like toss placements, just playing advantage state and disadvantage state properly. But yeah, this is like close to -2 in my opinion. Hey, our first +2 matchup, Robin. Honestly, Robin just gets screwed over by the fact that, like, it's so easy to just, like, block his projectiles, but just go yeet, 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 throw a Pikmin. His, like, off mobility means he can't pressure us at all, and the fact that he has limited usage as Lava Sword, I can't speak right now, means that what happens is, like, we just kind of run away, we bait out his sword swings, and we doesn't have Lava Sword, we fight him, and he's not even a character. And even when he has Levin Sword, he's so slow and his frame data is so iffy that, like, we can kind of contest that. And yeah, he just doesn't deal with Olimar's, like, super basic throw Pikmin, force you to approach, fight you when you're approaching game plan. Okay, Rosalina. Rosa's advantage state's too good. We can gravity pull Pikmin Toss as Rosa and, like, basically negate all that pressure super easily. And then finally, Olimar can't chase her. Like, she can just, like, jump full up around Olimar, double jump a little bit, and Olimar has to commit so hard to catching our landings. And when Olimar jumps, what happens is he has to land, right? And in those situations, he's very vulnerable. And a character like Rosa, who's already good at juggling, loves when Olimar just jumps and goes, okay, I'm gonna juggle you now. So, the one thing Olimar has is that he kills Luma pretty easily with attacks, especially Purple Pikmin Toss. But and this might be Rosa main bias, but it's just kind of rough for him overall, I think, to, like, escape disadvantage or even get a hit in neutral. Roy's a fun matchup. This is actually a matchup of, like, Roy has better up close buttons, but not by much. Olimar has, you know, the zoning tools to force approaches, but he's so much slower that, like, Roy still dictates when the fight's gonna happen. And then, like, both characters combo each other well. I think Olimar can edgeguard Roy pretty well, which is nice. But in exchange, Roy has really good ledge trapping and juggling, where Olimar doesn't. So it's a really fun back and forth matchup where it's like a lot of like nuanced like reads on what the opponent's gonna do, getting parry timings, getting your punishes, and outspacing your opponent. Very fun even matchup. All right. Yeah, Samus's main like game plan is get charge shot and use that to pressure, and one tiny little Pikmin is gonna stop a giant charge shot. So like Samus's main game plan does not work. Samus then just has to fight Olimar, and without charge shot as her like main tool to back her up, her attacks are okay. Like her aerials aren't gonna get in on us. Her mobility isn't that great. Her ground moves aren't that great. Like her game plan falls apart versus characters that negate charge shot, and Olimar does it better than anyone else. Probably Samus's worst matchup, to be honest. That or maybe like Steve. Alright, I hate Sephiroth. I hate it. Kind of like Rosa, it's super hard to hit Sephiroth when he wants to just full up around. So like you can hit him with Pikmin Toss, sure. But he just uses that to like... Alright, I just reset this now. So it's like Sephiroth just kind of like takes the Pikmin Toss damage, gets one wing, and then hitting him is impossible. And he kills so easily and he outranges us so much. And this edge guarding is so good. And his juggling is, versus Olimar, actually pretty good. Meanwhile, we struggle to get any hits in, especially at kill percents. So it's like Sephiroth is just going to live way longer than he should. He is combo food, sure, but like Olimar lacks kill confirms. And that's a big deal. So it's like we don't get the chance to end the stocks early enough unless they mess up. Also, his counter is super annoying over throwing purple Pikmin, because that'll like kill us. Like if he counters our purple Pikmin, especially if we're off stage trying to recover with it, for example, we're dead. Alright, Sheik. I did lose to I'm Sheik in Japan. He just outplayed me. With that said, hard matchup for Sheik. Her combos don't work well because of Whistle, and Pikmin are hard for her to kill. They also stop her combos. She gets outranged. She gets outdamaged. She has to fight us. Like, she's mobile, but she doesn't have, like, degenerate, like, zoning spacing tools. So she has to get into our range, which is always great for Olimar. Really, like, the fact that her mobility isn't backed up by, like, some degenerate, like, destroying her attack, or, like, some, like, cheesy option, like, charging limit, and she just has to fight, makes her not good versus Olimar. She can win it. She can hold us in disadvantage forever. She can, like, constantly punish Pikmin Toss with all-time dash attacks. Like, she can do it. It's just rough. It requires constantly good outplays on her part. You know, it doesn't need to outplay us. Yeah. Big sword go burr. And to the fact that, you know, like, Olimar's recovery is really easy to up B edge guard. It's hard to catch Shulk jumping around with jump art. Even on parry, it's hard to punish this stuff because this stuff is too much range. He doesn't care about Pikmin Toss, really. He's super hard to kill, especially when he's in Shout Art, of course. And, like, it feels like super basic, just Shulk, jump, swing, sword game plan is hard enough for Olimar to deal with before even getting to the nuances of, like, all the arts and stuff. Snake is an interesting one. Because Olimar outcamps Snake, but not by enough that's, like, awful for him. But then, of course, Snake kills super easily and does insane damage. Or, I shouldn't say kills easily, but he has potential to kill easily with up tilt. And, of course, his damage output's insane. But in exchange, we wall him out. We have disjointed hitboxes with void frame data. Purple Pikmin are annoying. Red Pikmin can kind of, like, take explosions and live. Yellow Pikmin especially, I want to mention, they have bigger hitboxes on their attacks, which is important in every matchup. But I feel like, versus especially some characters such as Snake, that extra range makes the neutral super hard for them. Oh, it's not gonna lie. Bro, my lips are so chapped, I think, because it's becoming winter. Oh, I guess. Fall? Yeah, fall. I have chapstick somewhere. Found it. But goddamn. Alright, hope that helps. But yeah, so Snake, like, he has to find openings between, like, his just movement and grenades. It's just if he gets the opening, like, man, we will die. Man, do we have to commit really hard to catching him with a kill move when he's recovering anywhere. Man, can we not afford mistakes. Also, man, the explosions kill Pikmin that aren't reds pretty easily. So it's like, sometimes our lineup just gets decimated by that, or like, a dash attack can just kill our lineup. In fact, shouts to dash attack because it's an amazing move that just goes, hey, you jumped, catch the landing, big punish. Or moderate punish. But yeah, it's a pretty even matchup. It's actually pretty fun because it's constantly this back and forth of like, all right, how are you gonna approach? How are you gonna approach? Are you gonna throw some grenades out? You're not gonna approach for a little bit. Cool. I'm gonna pressure you. Extra with pigment toss. Oh, you're going back to approaching me? All right, back off. Bait out the approach punish. All right, Sonic. You know, it's actually fine before Sonic has a lead because we can like use purple pigment toss to like block spin dashes. We have like the buttons that outrange him. Like, it's actually really annoying for Sonic to get in, but once he has a lead, it's borderline impossible to hit Sonic. We just can't do it. We're too slow. So we can't let him get a lead. And the fact that he has, you know, he's Sonic. He has an insane combo game. Crazy good advantage state. Good edge guarding. Juggling. Ledge trapping is actually pretty good. Olimar's ledge trapping isn't really good versus Sonic's, like, options. So, like, we have the neutral down, but the moment we get hit, it's so bad for us. And our combo game isn't even that good in Sonic because he has frame 2 air dodge. So yeah, you can never afford to lose the lead or you lose the matchup. Alright, Sora. Sora can actually use Pikmin Toss to like bounce on it with like forward air and neutral air. And that alone makes keeping him out really hard. Add to the fact that like Thundaga controls so much space relative to Olimar's mobility that like we have to just hold the Thundaga pressure. We have to hold Blizzaga pressure. We have to just let him edge guard us because his edge guarding is super good. He juggles us super easy with a massive up air. Yeah, so he really, like, he has more range than us in general on his tools. And his tools also naturally let him, like, jump around our attacks. Or Pigment Toss, I should say. So Olimar's game plan doesn't really work. Like, we can camp him out and be annoying and get some chip damage through really safe play. But I feel like as Olimar, you have to either be super safe with your play and go with, like, tiny bits of damage while not getting hit. Or get super aggressive to beat Sora. And both those feel like not playing into Olimar's, like, strengths. Or they feel like... They feel like they're very extreme play styles that catch someone that don't know how to deal with it. It just doesn't feel like a good matchup. Alright, it's Steve. It's funny, Olimar's, like, kit is actually pretty good versus Steve on paper. Because, like, we essentially get to harass him while he's getting his materials, sure. And, like, we kind of fight similar ranges. We're both kind of slow. But, like, the fact that, like, we have, like, this harassment tool with Pigment Toss, especially purples, should be really good into Steve. And our combo breaking whistle should be very good into Steve. But Steve's so overtuned that, like, despite that, he just is gonna kill us too easily, do too much damage. Minecart's super broken, Downer's super broken. And, like, everything about him is just so tuned in a way that even if you have the tools to deal with him in a lot of spots, the punish on messing up for us is not the same as if we punish him for messing up. And killing him, especially when he makes those block walls behind him, is a nightmare. We're just doing that and using Minecart. Alright. Toon Link's whatever in terms of his matchup. He just kind of gets like, he has projectiles, we don't care. You know, he has not too much range on his sword normal. It's not great frame data, so we just kind of like beat him up close, mid-range. And he doesn't have anything going for him in the matchup besides the fact that he's fast. But he doesn't really like, it's not that big of a deal. Where he doesn't have anything that back up that speed. He just has to like hit us with some projectiles and combos and hope he gets those edge guards and stuff going. Which isn't that reliable. He also is pretty easy to edge guard because his up is super linear. Alright, Wario. This one's interesting. Because it's like Olimar should win it. But then I play the matchup versus good Wario's and it's like, yeah, we do keep him out. But the moment we like miss one aerial, he gets in and can kill us. His juggling, his edge guarding, waft combos. He's super fast and kind of small. And he has fast as shield options, so like, our shield pressure isn't amazing versus him. But he pressures Olimar's shield. Olimar's shield game kind of stinks. And Wario's shield pressure is especially good. And so it's like, yeah, I do think we beat him. Potentially. But I always feel like it's hard to actually like close out stocks and therefore games versus Wario. And even just him tapping our shield safely is enough for him to get like party time going. And that's really scary. But I don't like... Everyone would say it's Wario favor. I'm like... I mean, all of our favor, but it's like, I don't know. Put it here for right now. Alright, Wii Fit Trainer. She's just not a good character. Like, a lot of characters in this area, she's like a character with projectiles. And like, not great range on her normal attacks. And Olimar just eats those characters alive. So yeah, I will say, she does kill Pikmin pretty easily. So you have to respect that, like, she's killing Pikmin pretty easily and safely. And that, like, she's going to get a lot of value off Sun Salutation and down B healing. It's actually kind of annoying. With that said, I don't think it's enough to compensate for the fact that, like, we just constantly outspace her. Alright, Wolf. He's not one of these characters that just kind of jumps around and goes, yeah, try hitting me. Try hitting me. You can't hit me. And then Laser's super annoying. It kills Pikmin that latch to him. It'll, like, stop us approaching because it's, like, so tall for no reason. It also just kills Pikmin in general. But the big thing is, honestly, like, we have to commit to calling out Wolf's landings. But if we mistime our, like, call out on his landing, he's gonna hit us with, like, something and turn that into his advantage state. So we're always at the threat of, like, how are you gonna jump at us? Or are you gonna reflect Pikmin at us? Or are you gonna shoot some lasers? And it's a really annoying matchup. Definitely has been Wolf favor since, like, Ultimate release. Hasn't really changed. Yoshi's interesting. Even though Yoshi's mobile, his, like, shield pressure isn't safe enough for us Olimar for him to, like, tap out a shield and, like, get party time going. But in exchange, he can combo break and, like, get out of advantage state with his double jump armor. It's super annoying. Eggs are really annoying because when we're off stage, they, like, set up edge guards for him. However, we are able to contest his lack of aerial destroying with our destroying aerials pretty easily. We are able to throw a Pikmin at him, and then, like, if he kills Pikmin, it's pretty easy for us to, like, run up and, like, hit him for trying to kill the Pikmin. However, he's gonna live super long, kill super early, do a lot of damage. So it's pretty even. It's actually pretty fun. Alright, Young Link. Hey, look, another projectile character wants to get up close. It's kind of like Olimar, actually. He wants to, like, camp with projectiles a little bit. Use that projectile camping to, like, find an opening and get up close and go crazy. And Olimar just does that better, especially because Young Link's recovery is so bad. And his combos do get broken by Whistle, so he has to, like, bait out our Whistle to combo us. And yeah, as a result, I think we win the matchup because he has play around our tools so much more. Also, Red Pikmin goes through fire arrows, and Purple goes through everything he has. And that's massive. Oh, and Red Pikmin also goes through bombs. So yeah, great matchup for us. Zelda, oh god. You wouldn't think Zelda would be a -2 for anyone. But no, Neutral B is, like, an amazing tool versus Olimar. It reflects Pikmin toss, smashes. It's, like, just enough not lag, I guess. Just quick enough that's hard for us to punish it on a whiff without being, like, super ready for it. But when you fight Zelda players, they're going to keep you at, like, a bit of a farther range with, like, just running around and throwing out down B, the knight. So it's really hard to get close enough to deal with Neutral B without exposing yourself to, like, Zelda's main tool. And then, of course, her ledge trapping is great versus Olimar, whose ledge game already stinks. And yeah, it just feels like the main tool of Pikmin toss is super shut down by Neutral B and the Knight. The Knight, like, blocks and kills Pikmin super easily as well. And then we're just gonna die to everything. And finally, Zero Suit. This is one of those matchups that most people think is just Olimar favor. But, like, I swear when I play it, it's like fighting Palutena, Wario, Sheik, Greninja, Aegis, etc. Where it's like, yeah, it's our favor if they want to fight us. But if the Zero Suit player commits to, like, just running around platforms, pressuring with Zers and, like, super well-spaced nairs, back airs, waiting for us to jump in the catching our landing, and, like, combine that with the fact that her advantage state is pretty good because Olimar is super bad, it can be rough. I don't think we lose it, but I lean towards it potentially being even nowadays, because I think our main way to get, like, hits on her is either her messing up or us getting, like, parries. And I think that opens up us to a lot of potential mix-ups, along with the fact that, like, her shield pressure, it's like if she hits your shield once with, like, a back air, she can, like, poke it with, like, a forward air, Zair, nair, another bear, whatever. And so with Olimar, the fact that we're just running around shielding a lot means we're eventually going to get hit just by her running around, like, safely mashing stuff. But with that said, like, we're short, she's sharp hitting us. Combos don't work well on us. She doesn't kill Pikmin well. And it's like she has to play it really meticulously. And if she doesn't, she'll just lose. But yeah. Alright, and I got through the entire Olimar matchup chart in under an hour. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. So guys, hope you Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. What do you think? This chart looks like a bad matchup chart, and you know what? Yeah, Olimar's a bad character, right? Like, I think he doesn't do well versus a lot of the meta characters. I think he does well versus a lot of the characters that just aren't that common, or like were meta. Like, you know, Zero Suit like was more meta back in the day. I shouldn't even say that. Yeah, I just don't think he does well versus a lot of the good characters in the game. But yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts. I'll catch you guys in another video.